national television fighting with his ex-boyfriend. Play the first clip.
But if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate.
Yep, the EV mandate. And so sometimes even in these little quarrels, some of the truth comes out.
Right.
And basically he's saying Elon was all good with it until I dicked him over.
Right. Well, these people are self first. The only thing they care about is money and power, full stop. And so the two biggest victim titty babies on planet Earth getting in a fight and breaking up is delectable.
Next up, Elon starts live tweeting responses to ex-boyfriend in Oval having meltdown about the breakup. Put up the tweet. False. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. And so Elon's sitting at home, snorting ketamine, watching this thing, stage 5 meltdown on X. And then Trump goes off again.
Electric vehicles. And, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And, Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's been, I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning. Mr. Secretary, that hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning.
What do you think?
Well, number one, I think he looks like shit with his eye bags. And number two, I think it is absolutely gross that he is hosting the Chancellor of Germany and he's talking about his boyfriend, and that Elon Musk would have so much power, and that, the whole thing is just abject disgust.
So, Trump always does these meltdowns in front of world leaders because he always has to have the cameras around him all the time. And that's why it was so interesting to me that from the time he retweeted some conspiracy theory that Joe Biden had been killed and was the country was being run by robot clones of Joe Biden. He went AWOL until last night. And then now he comes out and he's finally responding to Elon because he's in front of the press. So I don't know if they were machinating as to what they needed to do to come up with it. But a lot of this gets to the core where the Democrats can pipe in and start messaging. This EV mandate and all of these subsidies are the reason that Elon Musk is so rich. And so the Democrats have a real opportunity in here to start jumping in on this instead of just the James Carville method has been act dead and roll over. I disagree with James Carville on this. This is an extraordinary time. It calls for extraordinary measures. It calls for the Democrats to walk and chew gum. But let's see how Elon Musk responds to Trump. Whatever. Keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched. Very unfair. But ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. In the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation that both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. So this is interesting to me. Kylie, put that back up. They speak in the same fifth grade level. Very unfair! Exclamation points. And then they use the stupid adjectives to describe a piece of legislation. And I don't know if he's doing this because he wants Trump to hear it at his level or if Elon Musk also operates at a fifth grade level. Because this is the United States of America. We have the President of the United States who appointed a man to be in charge of DOGE, a brand new made up department in the United States government, who came in and wrecked the federal government. Planes started crashing. Conservative reports are there has already been 50,000 deaths in the poorest corners of Africa because of Elon Musk. And now, in an extraordinary moment, the president is commenting on Musk, and Musk is live tweeting responses, and we're supposed to be a superpower. And it was the Washington Post who yesterday or the day before had an editorial that said the United States of America is committing suicide. You're watching rapid fire suicide back and forth between these two people who should have never been near any lever of power ever. This is pathetic. This is so unbelievable. If we saw Macron doing something like this, if you saw Giorgia Meloni, who's a right-winger who I can't stand, but if she was acting like this, you think, God, I'm glad I don't live in that country. That's what everybody in the world is thinking as they watch this. God, I'm so glad I don't live in America.
Absolutely. And what is wrong with America? I mean, this is a symptom of 77 million people were fine voting for a convicted felon, thought because Elon Musk was white and rich that he knew everything. And now they are the biggest crybabies having a public breakup. Elon Musk is either mocking Trump with everybody knows it, like Trump always does, or they are both so intellectually compromised. They don't even have a decent vocabulary.
I think they don't have intellect. You know, we say intellectually compromised, but I don't even know that there's an intellect there. I mean, this is like caveman, big, beautiful Bill. You're, just these exclamation points. It's so childish. Okay. And then here is Trump says Elon has Trump derangement syndrome.
What? You're going to see about spending now? Are you saying it's all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office and he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this when I was telling the Chancellor, this is where it is. People come in here, even from Germany. They come in and they walk into the Oval Office and it's just a special place. It's, World War I, it started and it ended here, and World War II and so many other things. Everything big comes right from this beautiful space. It's now much more beautiful than it was 6 months ago. A lot of good things are happening in this room. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly. And some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But
okay, so I think it's interesting to point out that the Chancellor of Germany is there. And within the last week, Ukraine bombed the ship, which is a drone attack out of Russia. It was a surprise attack. They called it the Pearl Harbor of Russia. The Ukrainians and their allies did not tell the United States of America about this strike. The Chancellor of Germany has been very concise and has shown crystal clear clarity that they side with Ukraine, and they do not believe Russian propaganda. They will not buy into it. They acknowledge that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal that has goals far beyond Kyiv. And so I think it's interesting that he's sitting in there talking about all of these things going on when he's the person who's been put in timeout by all of the world's superpowers that have clarity, that have conviction. So I thought that whole thing that he said before he goes into all of that stuff, how just lacking intellect. We say intellectually devoid he is, but I don't think there's any intellect. He's talking about World War I, World War II, and if you know about those things and you're a student of history, you would understand that he is inside the Death Star. He is the problem.
Right.
He is the fascist, sirens going off. But I think it's interesting that the German chancellor is in there because he's colluding with all of our former allies to make sure they keep secrets from the United States of America, because the United States of America is engaged in a back and forth between this dipshit with clearly, in my opinion, full-blown dementia, and then an untreated drug addict who's live tweeting this.
Right. I mean, do you blame them for keeping the United States out? I mean, Pete Hegseth doing war plans on Signal, Tulsi Gabbard, Russian agent alleged over and over and over again. Trump is like propaganda machine for Russia. Like, they're smart to put the U.S. on the outside because we have complete incompetent criminals in charge of the United States of America. And the Trump derangement syndrome, when he has nothing else to say about somebody and he always has to tell everybody how much people love him. Well, I mean, they leave here and they love me. It's just unbelievable to me that he's so insecure and so pathetic that he wants to tell everybody how much people love him. And then he comes up with Trump derangement syndrome.
But, this hits hard on low T Twitter when he says this stuff. 77 million people buy into these grievances. They buy into it. They would rather defend Trump's alleged right to get a $400 million plane with 100 with a $1 billion upgrade from the Department of Defense, all at the cost of Americans, because like they will just go defend the Elon Musk, they will go defend the Donald Trumps, but they won't defend their own country. They won't defend their own constitution. They won't defend their own rule of law. The biggest derangement syndrome is the 77 million people that have seen footage like this. And you can even watch Fox and see it, where they've really gone into clip something where he sounds somewhat coherent. And it's still crazy. It's still insane. It's still fifth grade level, which leads me, are 77 million Americans insane, crazy, fifth grade level, cruel, indoctrinated? What is it? Because that's what's going to remain after this man. After all this bullshit Twitter, live tweeting stuff, which is delicious to watch, we have a problem in this country with dipshits. Right. Dipshits that watch dipshit news that will remain. And I think it was a French politician that high up in the French government that said during the last election, Europe has got to stop depending upon the citizens of a state like Wisconsin to know if we're going to have an ally in the future.
Right. And he's right.
And it turns out that he was 100% correct. So they already started pulling, because there's such a stark contrast in the two parties. One is fascist. One is like they want a personality cult. They want a cult leader to tell them how to think, what to do. They go to Fox News, they go to Joe Rogan, rinse and repeat. And you have people who want to fight for enlightenment, for democracy, uphold the rule of law. And the contrast is so stark. People say, that our population is so polarized. But what really is polarized are the two sets of ideals from which we can choose. You have Trump, who believes in all this crazy ass shit, who can't say cryptologist, who drones on and on about shit, whose best friend snorting ketamine and then walking into the Oval Office with a shiner, who's now live tweeting this stuff because they're all both butthurt about each other.
Right.
You know, so that's one choice that you have. That's one end. And the other end, I don't know where this comes from, but I want to have a politician on and ask people that say that Bernie Sanders is far left radical. How is it radical to want to pay people a decent wage? How is it radical to want human beings to have health care? Isn't that a Christian idea? To help the sick? How the fuck is that radical? So if they think Bernie is radical, what the fuck do they think about Jesus Christ? I want all these Christians to answer it. I want to know. Let's fucking go. They're live tweeting. They're going after it. Let's go. I want to do it too. I want to be crazy too. All right. There's one more. And this is a tweet from Elon Musk. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. He responded to his own tweet. He had to go back in.
Wasn't enough.
And I'm going to say sometimes a broken clock is right twice a day, and he's spot on. Trump would have lost the election without Elon Musk. Elon Musk rigged the algorithm and spent $300 million. And a lot of that money went to that anti-trans ad that riled up all the rubes, riled up all the Christians, and lied to the American public that kids are going to schools and getting their wieners whacked off. And Donald Trump, remember it in the campaign, he'd go, it's crazy. These parents, they send a little boy to school, and then they come home, the kids come home from school, and they're like, what happened? What happened to my child? And people believe that shit. People believe in the litter boxes. It's just, this is what bothers me about this. Trump is old. It's going to end at some point. This is not going to go on forever. The shit that remains, the debris field of all of this shit is what bothers me.
Well, and those are the things that we know Elon Musk and Trump did together. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but I look at it and I think, what else did Elon Musk do?
I agree with you.
What else? And are we getting ready to find out? Because there is no question these men both needed each other to keep out of prison for Trump, and Musk, all kinds of things. And by his own admission, he'd probably go to jail, but definitely civil penalties, lots of fines. So these two are just the biggest, most corrupt, criminal bottom feeders. And now they're breaking up. And is the truth just going to continue to leak out?
I think you're right. I think there's so much more that we don't know. And I think that Trump will start leaking. Elon will start leaking.
Mm-hmm.
Elon makes burner accounts and rigs all that up. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I think you're so spot on. There's so much more that we don't know about the collusion between these two. And I can tell right now that Musk is more butthurt than Trump at this moment. I mean, he's responding to his own tweets and then live tweeting to this. And so he's going to throw some stuff, but then the MAGA sphere is going to start throwing some stuff. But while all this is going on, there's a civil war going on in MAGA right now where people are starting to pick sides. But then you also have this Palantir where they want to mine all the information. And inside the big, beautiful bill is that nobody can touch AI for 10 years. Well, MAGA was all about civil liberties and privacy and all of this stuff. So it's interesting to see all of this. What are we, 4.5 months into the presidency? 5? It's interesting to see all of this start to erupt. But I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist to know that this was not sustainable. I'm surprised the relationship lasted this long.
That's what I was going to say. I am surprised with their malignant narcissism. Both of them have such mental defects. It's amazing it lasted this long.
And I mean, you're in recovery. My husband's in recovery. It's difficult to be around somebody that uses drugs every day. So I'm surprised that Elon lasted that long around the White House. But again, white men with a lot of money are deeply, deeply worshipped in this country. And they do so many things with just utter impunity. And Musk and Trump are a prime example of this. And they can sit here and bicker and they can sit here and fight. But at the end of the day, America and MAGA, the reason you can't have nice things is because of people like this.
Right.
That's why the big, beautiful bill wants to enrich these people more, take away more services that government provides for you. And the Democrats need to start marketing and marketing immediately. Nobody wants government run like a business, especially one of Donald Trump's businesses, because all of his go bankrupt. All right. That's all we have for this juicy session of IHIP News, and we'll see you all later.